Okay. Kia ora, my name is Kania Te Atahua Martin Wade. Firstly, I would like to tell you all about myself. I am named after a doctor, which is no longer in practice. He is of Polish descent. My grandmother raised me from birth, whom I call Mum. She was stuck for a week what and who to call me, and was looking at my baby book. And then she decided to name me after the family doctor. I met him when I was 3, and then again when I was 14, 15. My mum and him liked the idea of keeping in touch with each other. The last time I seen him, he said, "Kania, I will expect to hear you will become a doctor of some sort, not necessarily a doctor like me in medicine, but a doctor." I guess his words have been my motivation to go further in life. My second name, Te Atahua, meaning lovely, beautiful, and that's exactly what he was. He was really, really loving, caring, especially for my family. And when my great-grandmother was raising 13 siblings, struggles were tough. Having to pay consultations, Dr. Kania would see to my great-grandmother and have her march right out the door and tell the reception, "Mrs. Pennyha is okay, she doesn't need to pay," which is a blessing for us as a family. I attended Turikina Māori Girls College for 3 years. Sadly, it came to an end of closing. So the following year, we then started searching for a new school. We had no idea where I would go. Mum looked at applying in Christchurch at Christchurch Girls College, but the role was full, so it became a bit of stress. Then we prayed and asked for guidance, and then a friend came along days after talking about Longburn Adventist College. I was like, "Oh heck no, not that school." Anyway, Mum made contact with the school principal, Mr. Van, explained the closure of our school, that we had nowhere to go, which was on a Friday, and then the following Monday we then went for our interview. That went all well. We were accepted, myself and my auntie Nania, and off we went to the uniform shop, got what we needed. By Wednesday we started our first day here at Longburn Adventist College. I've been at the school for 2 years. It has been awesome. I have learnt so much. The staff are so helpful, lovely, which made my time sail. I have learned about God, and through these teachings, the Lord will always be my comforter, my salvation, my teacher. I know who to call out to when needed. He will be my guidance throughout my next journey to wherever I go, whether it be tertiary education. I am the first one out of a huge family to undertake tertiary education in university. 5 of us were put through boarding school, the reason being, one, for us to become independent and living away from home. I guess to prepare us for university. Like Mum said, her and Dad will not be around here forever, and that makes sense since being at boarding school has paid off. Secondly, we come from a background of being affiliated to the Mongrel mob. Well, my dad, also known as my grandfather, Noel, he's been part of the Mongrel mob for 40 years and has status in there today. The saddest thing through my experience is that we end up with this stigma by police as being the Mongrel mob children. Some of the local opposition has labelled us as mutts, a term for the bulldog on the patch. I didn't cop it too much, but my aunties did. This caused a lot of friction between where they were sometimes arrested for fighting, verbal abuse on the streets, or at family functions. It's sad, but it is what it is. It's repeated history. So much has happened where my family is lucky to be alive, where shots were fired at the house, cars fired, done by the unknown. I was never present because I was at boarding school, but I sure know that God has had his hand on the family where he has protected them to the fullest. My mum said her faith has been her protection after the shooting, etc. An iron fence was erected. She said it was the Wall of Jericho. Me sharing this, all the hassles, the reason for us girls having to go to boarding school. My mum wanted us out of Masterton away from the negative environment where we could be away and totally be surrounded in a more positive environment and strictly education. Just as well as we may have easily been caught up in the rut, as Mum would call it. My mum especially has been our strength, our encourager, our backbone, and I guess undertaking university would be a stepping stone for me, myself and my family, and I aim to turn the stigma right around and prove to myself and police and others I have more brains than they may think. Now I just want to thank all you from Longburn Adventist College, all my loved ones, for everything you have done for me, your knowledge that you have installed in me, and I pray that I will make myself and everyone that has been in my life proud of me. My journey being at Longburn has been a successful one. And now to finish up with a Bible verse from Romans chapter 8 verse 28. And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. This Bible verse reminds me that everything that has happened in my life and everything I have experienced has been according to his plan. Ever since being here, it has opened doors for myself to get to know who God is, and now I really know who he is. My name is Kania Tautahua Martin Wade, and I'm a graduate of Longburn Adventist College in 2017.